Hello there, book connectors. Welcome back to the Book Connection. I am your host, Blue Eyed Black Devil, and of course, I'm back again with another question. Have you ever found yourself struggling to finish reading a book? I have, and that's what I want to talk about today. So, there's several reasons why I used to find myself struggling to finish reading books. Now, for me, music and books are interrelated. And I'm pretty disciplined once I commit myself to whatever it is I'm doing. In music, it was, the show must go on and practice makes perfect. And then in English, it was always, you never close a book until you've read the last sentence on the last page. Well, all of that's out the window now. As recently as 6 years ago, I just stopped beating myself up. If it's not good or if it's not interesting to me, I'm just done. So my golden rule is, let's say I'm reading a book and there are 30 chapters in the book. If that book has not gotten and held my attention by the end of the last sentence in chapter 5, I'm done. I'm done. Now, there are exceptions. About 3 or 4 months ago, my friend recommended I read a book, but I was reading something. And so she said she had already started on reading the book. And then so when I got around to reading that particular book, we were on the phone one day. And she asked me if I had started reading that book. I told her, yeah. And she says, I'm on chapter 10. I said, oh, I'm on chapter 2. It's so slow. She said, but if you can just hang in there to chapter 6, it's going to pick up and you'll be glad that you held out. I was like, hey, I'll take your word for it this time. I don't know. But lo and behold, she was right. When I got to chapter 6, it picked up and it moved right along in a timely manner. Now, the opposite can be true also. A book may start off like powerfully explosive within the first 5 chapters. I'm going back to the golden rule within the 5 chapters, but when I hit chapter 6, it just goes downhill from there. And I make myself finish reading, then I'd be mad when I get through reading, because the first 5 chapters in the book is what really sold and told the story. I have to read the other 35 just because I could not stop. I couldn't close the book unread. So, and then you got sometimes where a book may start off great, and then it'll hit a low, and it'll stay there. Then you'll hit another peak, and then you just plummet downhill. All of those are reasons why I used to struggle. Now, I just don't bother reading books that I don't genuinely like. So, and I don't feel bad about it. I really don't, because I know that I feel like I've given it a fair shot by not stopping at the end of the first chapter that's boring or that you don't like or what doesn't make sense. That's why I just choose a number. What number I choose is based on the total of chapters, including the prologue and the epilogue, if there are some. And I go on. And another reason I don't I don't struggle anymore is because when I look back over books that I did not, well, that I found hard to finish reading, I can remember the authors or the novelists of some of the books. I can remember the titles of some of the books. But what I remember most is how bad I hated reading that book. And I don't want to ever walk away from a book with that being what I remember the most about that book. It's not just books. I can remember in high school and college, we had to read this poem called The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. I hated that. I hated it. I believe it's by T.S. Eliot. I can remember not liking that poem either time I read it. But that's just an example. So hop down in the comments, book connectors. I'm sure I'm not the only person who has struggled reading books through to the end. And let's just discuss your reasons for finishing the books. Or at what point do you decide that you're no longer going to be able to read this particular book? So I'm interested in knowing. And yeah, that's going to wrap this particular video up, Book Connectors. So please do not forget to like, share, comment respectfully. Make sure you share only as much as you care to share. Make sure you are still subscribed to the channel, and once you see you are, make sure you have your notification bells set to off so you'll know every time I drop another gem. And in the meantime, remember this, book lovers or book connectors. As long as there are books around, there is always something to read. And until we read and connect again, please be safe out there. Enjoy your morning, noon, and night. Enjoy yourselves and each other. And God bless.